Have you ever looked up and thought, what am I missing in my life?
Welcome to the Shazam Cast.
Come on, Logan! Let's go find aliens!
Oh, burn, Leo, burn!
X-Men featuring Scott Pilgrim.
That's such a double die.
It's a fucking X-Men movie.
And you got a butt
No,
Shazam Cast. Hello and welcome to the Shazam Cast. My name is Leo.
I am the ghost that was once known as Dan.
I know nothing about comic books.
And I am a ghost, but my former human self knew a lot about comic books.
And we usually do that in the other order.
Well, fuck it.
Okay.
Let's talk about a movie, which this case is X-Men Origins Wolverine, continuing with the stupid titling.
For those of you who are not familiar with the show and you're just jumping in now, this is a show where me and Dan talk about superhero movie things, and he knows a lot about the original comic booky lore history things, and I know nothing but what I see in the actual movie itself. So in this case, today we're going to be reviewing and talking about and generally discussing and ripping into X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
So I have a question about the title, actually. This is, I don't have it in my notes or anywhere, this just occurred to me. Something I've been thinking about. Because when I first heard about it being called X-Men Origins Wolverine, I thought that they were making like a series of movies called X-Men Origins that would be about like the past of the various X-Men, and there would be like prequels for a bunch of different ones.
They were going to.
Oh!
They were going to, but then they made this one.
Alright,
So,
let's talk. The plot of X-Men Origins Wolverine is essentially...
If you're an unfaithful whelp.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so, we find out Logan was born 150 years ago as James something or other, and...
James Howlett, and basically,
he
fought in a bunch of wars.
He has a brother
and
named
then...
Victor who also has,
That part confused the hell out of me, honestly.
claw things. Actually,
are they brothers, or are they...
They're brothers, yeah.
Okay.
But...
Because, yeah, that's not what it is in the comics at all.
Right, because, so Wolverine originally, James, as he was then known, had the healing powers, and he had his claws, but his claws weren't metal, because, obviously, you know, the adamantium was put into him later, so at that point they were bone claws. And,
yes.
And... he has the guy Victor is his brother in this movie. I don't know what it is in the comic books, but he has like super fingernails and he's like a rat or something.
He has the best manicure ever.
Yeah, and
but
that's the two of them fighting a bunch of wars, and eventually they get hired by a young William Stryker to work for a task force of mutants. A bunch of shit goes down. Wolverine eventually gets fed up and leaves.
But then comes
back. When Victor starts killing everyone and assassinates his girlfriend. Ah, God, the plot gets incredibly convoluted.
The plot is really stupid. We're gonna... Basically what happens is Wolverine gets his medal, then runs away, then goes back, and then has his mind wiped in the dumbest way possible, and we get a fairly stupid movie out.
Alright, so, do you want to go through our likes, or just through our notes in general?
Good things and bad things.
Alright, so I'll take the good things first, because, you know, that'll be quick. I liked the army fight scene in the beginning. I just thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
The opening...
Basically, like, all the X-Men have really awesome intros.
Yes, the opening credits was really, really cool. There was, like, credits as Wolverine and Victor transitioned through... Or, as Logan and Victor... Or James and Victor transitioned through a bunch of wars, and, like, it showed, basically, the evolution of war as well. It was, like... a bunch of different wars, and like, you know, they started with like swords and stuff, and then eventually suddenly guns showed up, and it was like,
this was like in the 1890s. I think it was like in some early 1800s.
It was that was really, really awesome.
It was, yeah.
Then let's see. Actually, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do good things and bad things, I kind of, okay.
Also, quick spoiler warning in case.
What? Yeah.
A
spoiler, yeah. Spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about spoilers.
Spoiler alert, Wolverine gets his claws.
That's right, yes he does. But I'll kind of be able to do good things and bad things. So good things, let's see. I love the line where Stryker shows up and he's trying to convince Logan to work with him. And he's like, and Logan's having none of it, and he's getting in his car, and Stryker's like, "Come on, Logan, your country needs you." And Logan puts a cigar in his mouth and says, "I'm Canadian," and then drives off. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yeah, I love when Wolverine just does not give a shit.
Yes.
It's just like,
Young Stryker is no Brian Cox, but I actually kind of liked him.
I didn't at all.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough. I don't know. I just thought he was like. I just didn't think he was Brian Cox enough.
Yeah.
And I thought that.
I guess that's fair.
I don't know. Any more good things, or is that?
Oh, I have some more. Okay, so I like the old guy from the old couple that took Logan in for like 5 minutes.
And before they were killed and then never brought up again.
Yeah. Thing is, it really. A lot of the things that they did in this movie, it kind of felt like they were gonna have, and I actually have this note later, I was kind of liking the story until they got to the island, because as soon, basically what one thing that they do a lot in this movie is that they set stuff up that could work really well in a movie, and then they just go, nope, like they have this.
Imagine like a whole movie of just the task force going off and doing missions.
Exactly. Okay, so the task force, they set it up and it's really great, and then Logan leaves and the movie's like, nope, and then Logan has this great tragic thing with the romance with Kayla that actually was kind of compelling and gave his character. Okay, I know, or I don't know actually what your feelings are about it, but I kind of know now, but it was compelling and it could have been a decent kind of motivation-y thing to use in the movie, and then they get to the island and they're like, nope, but we'll get into that later. Then the old couple could have been really great characters that like sort of helped Wolverine adjust from what just, happened to him, and he got, and then immediately they're killed, so it's like, nope, and then, let's see.
Yeah, all the setup for this movie is a lot more interesting than the actual movie.
Yes, they build up so much stuff, and then, no. And that's all the positive notes I have, actually.
Yeah. Alright, I have a few positive things.
Okay.
Alright, most of the actors are either at least decent. Like there aren't any. Well, there's like one or two but like most of the actors are at least good. And Hugh Jackman again is amazing as Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
There's never gonna, if they ever reboot the X-Men franchise, there will never be a Wolverine as good as Hugh Jackman.
This is true.
Like, and I think Leib Schieberman. I'm probably butchering your name.
Leib Schieberman, whatever.
Leib
right?
Schreiber. I think that's his name.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
Schreiber.
Whatever his name is, the guy who played Sabretooth, was pretty good, I thought.
Wait a minute.
Definitely
Sorry, who?
Sabretooth. Victor.
Wait a minute. What?
Are you fucking serious? Did you not know that was Sabretooth?
No.
Fuck off.
What?
That was fucking Sabretooth.
How was that?
Did you not? That was...
How was that Sabretooth?
Yes, it's... Okay, it's Leib Schreiber. That's her name. You were pretty good. Yes, you were. He was Sabretooth. Did you really not know this?
No, that didn't occur to me at all. I kind of assumed Sabretooth was the thing that was in the first X-Men movie that then was...
He is! And then but he's like a big part of Wolverine's backstory.
Wait a minute, so the Sabretooth that was in the original X-Men trilogy is the future version of Victor?
Okay, here's the thing. With the X-Men movies.
What?
Once we get into all the prequels and, like, spin-offs, the timeline gets majorly fucked. So, yes, Victor does turn into Sabretooth at some point, but Sabretooth in the movie, on the first X-Men movie, is a lot different than Sabretooth in this movie and Sabretooth in the comics. Well, not a lot different, but different. So... I have no fucking idea what happened in between movies that turned Leib Schreiber into whoever played him in the first one. But yeah, that's
and
the same guy.
why he was covered in hair and his power was being furry and kicking stuff. Right. Because Victor was pretty cool in this movie.
That was his power.
Like in this,
Being furry and kicking stuff is his power.
Well, yeah, that's his power.
Well, he also had the claws in the. He had those in the X-Men movie.
This is true. Okay, before I get, or do you have more good things?
Yes,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
a few more
okay.
positive things. Some of the action was okay. Like I liked the part where he's like fighting the helicopter. I thought that was decent.
Right. Yeah.
And for however like 5 minutes he shows up, Gambit is entertaining. Same with Deadpool. Both of those guys are like they were supposed to be good, but they weren't. So you know.
Wait, who was entertaining for the 5 minutes that he showed up?
Deadpool and Gambit, and I do not blame
right.
you at all for not knowing who they are. Well, kind of Gambit, because who the hell doesn't know, or not Deadpool? I kind of blame you for not knowing who Deadpool is, but who the hell doesn't know who Deadpool is?
I didn't say anything about not knowing who Deadpool was.
But yeah, do you know who Deadpool is?
Well,
Anyway.
no.
Anyways, but yeah, for the 5 minutes that Deadpool shows up and is actually Deadpool and not weird, like, mute thing at the end, he was fun, and I totally want Ryan Reynolds to have his own solo Deadpool movie.
Oh, you mean you mean when he was in the task force?
Yeah, the guy who had the swords, the red shirt, that was
Right. Yeah.
Deadpool. But
No,
how he,
No, I mean I know who
he
Deadpool is. It just didn't occur to me that the guy who was in the task force originally and who kept making
Yeah.
smart ass comments, that was Deadpool as I think if I understand correctly, as he is supposed to be presented, kind of.
Well, I mean, in the comics, he constantly breaks the fourth wall.
No.
Like, literally, there's no fourth wall with Deadpool. But, yeah, I think it would be.
All the world's a stage.
That's a good Deadpool. That's a good Deadpool. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the whole thing with the Phoenix. It would be awkward if he just started randomly breaking the fourth wall in the middle of this movie.
Did the Phoenix do that?
No, but it would be awkward if they just randomly went into space and she turned into
Oh,
Phoenix.
that's right. Yeah. I remember
It's similar
that.
in that way. But I don't know. I thought
that was my impression of Professor X randomly taking everybody into space so that Jean can turn into a Phoenix.
Deep Patrick Stewart voice.
Yes, X-Men. We mutants saw the future. Let's go into space.
Whee!
Yeah.
Come on, Logan. Let's go fight aliens.
That's my new Patrick Stewart voice.
Oh my
Officially.
god. That's gonna be hard to differentiate from your female character voice.
Well, my female voice is a lot screamier.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
This is my female voice.
Oh, Logan, you're my hero.
Yeah, it sounds
Well,
like
my
you're
Professor
stepping
X
on a
voice is-
rat, so.
What?
It sounds like you're stepping on a rat.
How would my foot be correlating with a rodent?
That sound, the
Equal
sound
me.
of you talking like that sounds like you were stepping on a rat.
You know
And
what?
the
I'm
s-
just gonna move
And
on.
the sound that the rat is making as you step on it. It goes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the sound I made when I stepped on a rat. And I
What?
was very confused.
Okay, alright, go on.
Okay, let me think. Do I have any other notes?
After you're done with your good stuff, before we move on to the problems, I have some questions to ask because
Okay.
besides being
oh.
terribly inconsistent and in a lot of places just kind of annoying in the way that they deliver things, this movie's also really, really bad at explaining certain stuff. Sorry, but go on. I just have some questions
Yeah.
after that.
Okay. So yeah. I liked the guy who played the Blob. He was funny, and I mean, he didn't do anything interesting, but yeah, it was funny.
Oh right.
I also liked the
Oh.
guy who played what's his name? The guy, the teleporter. What's
Oh,
his
dude, he was good. His name
Yeah, he was
like
cool.
John or something.
John Wraith. Yeah,
John.
he was good for. Here's the thing: they have a bunch of really interesting, cool characters, but they only show up for like 3 minutes.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's about it.
All right, so
Yeah.
in that case, I just have a couple questions before we move on to the legitimate, like,
The bad
yeah,
stuff.
bad things.
Mhm.
So, number one, just a lot of stuff in this movie is really unclear. After he escapes from the facility,
Which one?
the first time when they put the adamantium in him and then he escapes, I was like,
Mhm.
does he remember?
Yes, he does. Because, so, here, we're slipping into the bad stuff. Because they have literally the dumbest possible way of wiping Wolverine's memory.
Calm down, Dan. Calm down. It's
No.
gonna be all right.
It's not okay.
All right, let's slip into. Okay, we're gonna talk about what the bad stuff is in just a minute.
So, yeah.
So I understand that he remembers now. Now that I've seen it, and now that I've watched it all the way through. But for like 10 minutes after he escaped from the facility, I assumed he didn't remember because in the entire X-Men trilogy, he had like flashbacks of the facility, and you could hear people's voices saying, "He'll have no memory. He'll have no memory. Have no memory," and that was literally like a big thing in X2 where he would have flashbacks of like waking up and he didn't remember what had happened before.
Yeah.
But there you could hear people's voices saying that he won't have any memory. And after he escaped, I was so it's just kind of implied that when he escapes from the adamantium thing, that's when his memory is wiped. So when he escaped, I was like, so does he not remember? And then he started like knowing what everything was, and I was like, oh, he still remembers. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. Then another thing. Okay, actually, okay. Two. Was he the Wolverine before? He wasn't. I know now, but it was never established when he was in the task force that his name was not Wolverine, because people know him as Wolverine. It just kind of, I don't know how they would have even established that, but while he was in the task force and stuff like that was going on, because he only named himself Wolverine as the adamantium thing was going on,
Yeah.
and yet I didn't realize that until, you know what it could have been? When he threw the dog tags away as he was walking away from the task force, he throws the dog tags away. You could have, like, you know, seen that it doesn't say Wolverine, because everyone in the old movies remembers that the dog tag says Wolverine, so if you could see that that's not the same, I don't know, anyway. So that was, you know, the way they established the name Wolverine. Okay. I have two questions about people's powers.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Is Agent Zero's power jumping? Because I think Agent Zero's power is jumping.
Hold on. I am totally not looking this up. I'm just remembering.
Meanwhile, as you're remembering that, you know, as your keyboard remembers that, is another thing. Is Gambit's power, and you'll know this, is Gambit's power controlling cards? Because I don't understand what his power is.
Okay, Gambit's power is to, it's like to control kinetic energy in a way, and it's kind of weird, but basically he can, like, make the kinetic energy in something like explode, basically. So what he'll do in the comic books is he'll carry a stack of cards with him, and he can make each of them explode. So he can basically basically anytime he has a deck of cards, he has 52 grenades with him.
Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah, so
are you trying to remember Agent Zero's power with your computer?
Yeah, and as for Agent Zero, his powers in the movies, yeah. Shh.
I'm not talking.
Let's see. His powers in the film are enhanced speed, agility, and superhuman accuracy with firearms.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
The comics, it's similar to Gambit's. It's actually his primary mutant power is an ability to absorb the kinetic energy by an impact without harm to himself.
I hear sirens outside your window.
Yeah.
Are they coming to arrest you for not knowing Agent Zero's power?
Shit!
Here's my actual question, and this is like a big one. When the hell did his name become Logan? Because, okay, his name is James. It's well established at the beginning of the film that his name is James or Jimmy. And then, you know, fast forward through hundreds of years in war, and then he's on the task force, and his name is, he's still referred to as James, and then he escapes from the adamantium procedure. Oh, sorry, and he's still James when he's with his girlfriend, and then she dies, and he goes with Stryker, and they put the adamantium in him, and then he escapes, and then suddenly Stryker starts calling him Logan. He's like, Logan has escaped, and then he's like, Zero, kill Logan, and stuff, and then he's like, when Zero is like crashed in the helicopter, he's like, Zero, have you killed Logan? Is Logan dead? I'm like, who the hell is Logan? What are you talking about? No. When did his name become Logan? This was never previously established.
Good fucking question. I don't know the answer. It just kind of happened.
It's bizarre.
Alright. So, do you have any more questions, or can we move on to the bad things?
That was my last question. After that, I just have bad stuff. So should I say some stuff and then
go bad things.
Okay,
go.
so my first two negative notes. One, the kids are a little silly in the beginning. Their acting is a little gratuitous. If I'm using that word correctly, which I may well not be. But the kids playing young Logan or young James and young Victor are kind of, I don't know, they were a little over the top. Little James was, because just kind of odd, and young Victor was Discount Edward from Twilight. Like, literally, my first thought when I saw him, the guy walked into the room, and I was like, why the hell is Edward in this movie? Because that's, like, one of the first shots in the movie. You just see the guy, a guy in these, fancy 18th century Canadian clothes walk into the room, and he walks past Discount Edward, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Okay, so, and then after that this is just my note, it's Son. What a twist! Which,
oh god, that was, okay, the whole thing with, Logan and Victor being brothers is fucking stupid. Okay, should I say in the comics, or?
No, go ahead.
In the comics, Logan and Victor are partners in the task force.
Oh.
So, it kind of makes more, I don't know, to me that made more, I don't know, I didn't like their brothers, and I thought that they should have just been, I think it would have been interesting if they were just best friends from childhood, but having them be, actual, real-life brothers is just kind of stupid, I think.
That's true. Interesting. Okay.
I actually feel like I'm fucking that up, so don't hold me. If it turns out that they actually were brothers, don't fucking, say, Dan lied to me, I'm scared.
Yeah, because I totally will do that. No, I'll just report you to the police for,
Well,
I'll make a call.
I'm already,
yeah.
The cops are already here, they're just, watching, they're being polite.
They're actually,
they're letting me finish at least.
They're nice cops, yeah. Good.
Surprisingly enough in New York.
So.
Police corruption. That's funny. Sorry.
I must explain what I'm talking about, which is that the movie opens with some guy who's like a doctor or something. I think he's pretending to be Logan's dad or something, but the point is he runs downstairs, or Logan is in his bed and he's sick and he hears gunshots and screaming and stuff, and he runs downstairs and he sees this guy who is Victor's father, and he has just shot the person who James believes to be his dad. So James freaks out, extends his claws, and rams...
Okay, the thing is, the guy who is apparently not Wolverine's father, looks exactly like Hugh Jackman. It's scary.
Huh.
The guy who played Wolverine's fake dad.
Maybe he was actually...
Maybe he was just fucking with him the whole time.
Oh my god, the other dad was just about to die. His, he has friggin' mutant claws stuck into his esophagus or whatever, and he's pressed up against the wall, and he's like, he wasn't your father, son. And then Logan's
just
no!
to fuck with him.
Or whatever. But yeah, I think he might have just been trolling around because...
And the mom is just standing there I would say something, but my kid's a fucking mutant, so screw that.
Okay, more negative notes. Oh, okay, here we go. No. This is a reference to when Logan quits the task force, someone says, I think it's Victor, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. Victor or someone says, like, you can't just let him walk away. And then Logan just walks away, and I'm like, no, you can't just let him walk away. He knows crucial government information about a top secret project run by Stryker, and he can give away information about, like, people who have been killed and secret missions that have been accomplished by this task force, and you are literally just letting him walk out on you. Yeah. And I get, it's dramatic, and also Wolverine could probably kick all their asses except for Victor, but whatever.
Yeah, I have no objections to that.
Let's see. The
very.
Oh.
No. Oh, are we talking about the CGI?
The CGI on the claws? Yes, we are.
Oh my god, it's horrendous.
They look like a cartoon. It's friggin' Who Framed Roger Rabbit out there. What's going on?
Oh my god.
Logan, what happened to you? They knew how to do the CGI during the X-Men trilogy. Like, what is this now?
They literally... It's like, shit, we've got a week to ship out.
Yeah, they shot the scenes with the claws last, and they didn't have time to do the editing. So they just had someone, like, stick...
They just look like they're floating.
It does. Someone just took the film, like, the film reel from that scene and stuck in stop motion stickers of claws onto it.
Yes.
And then moved them around for every frame.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre. Like...
Yeah,
I don't understand.
CGI,
were they, like, trying to make them shinier because they're new?
I don't know. This movie's fucking stupid.
I don't know what they were trying to achieve.
By the way, spoiler alert. That's my opinion of this movie. It's fucking stupid.
Let's see. So I said at some point, I really like the old guy, which was great because there was, like, this bit where basically Wolverine was being a tortured hero, and he was like, the old guy was like, everyone's got a choice, and Wolverine's like, I don't have a choice, or something, or like, I lost my choice, or my choice was stolen, or something like that, and then the old guy's just like, bullshit, and I was like, I love this guy. This guy represents everything.
Here's the thing, it's one of the most cliched old guys ever. I mean, like, seriously.
He is actually, a guy whose son recently died or moved out or something. And he's like, it's an old couple who misses their son, and that's the only reason why they let the strange mutant man sleep in their barn. So
who somehow cuts off half of their sink.
And they're just like, okay. Anyway. But so I wrote down the phrase, I really like the old guy. And then, because I was writing this down as it was happening, I wrote down, I really like the old guy. And then, like, 5 seconds later, I wrote down, damn it, they killed the old guy. Let's see. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Okay, that is the most cliched cool guys don't look at explosions ever, and I love it.
They literally pulled the cool guys don't look at explosions. Wolverine blows up a helicopter and then walks away. And you see the explosion behind him, and then they use the explosion even as a crossfade to the next scene. But I was like, it's hard to explain how I feel about that, because it's almost so cliche and so ridiculous that it's good again. I kind of like it, actually. It's hard to tell. Let's see.
Yeah, I love it because it's so cliche, and it's like Hugh Jackman's just like, yeah, bub, whatever, and it's just like, of course it's fucking the most cliched possible thing you could do, but it's funny as hell.
It is funny, yeah.
It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
If this movie is stupid, and for the few moments it kind of just accepts its own idiocy,
yes.
It's good.
That's the precious moments of it, where it's like, where the movie's like, you know what, screw it. Which was, another example of that moment is when Wolverine's fighting the Blob, in this movie he's not actually called the Blob, he's just... Actually, okay, I'm lying. I didn't know that he was called the Blob until you just said that like a few minutes ago. But in this movie, he's just a guy who was on the task force and he was really strong. And then after Logan left, he developed an eating disorder and got like fat, like so fat that they had to put the actor in a fat suit. And then Logan's like boxing him for information, and then Logan calls him Bub, and the guy's like, "Did you just call me Blob?" And he's like, no, I said Bub. And then, like, there's... Yeah, ass-kicking entails. But it was... Yeah, that's another moment where the filmmakers, you can just see the filmmakers being like, why the hell not?
We need to have the Blob in this movie. We need to have him do one fight scene.
Make a Wolverine joke. Bub, blob. I get it.
They sound somewhat similar.
Here's another note, which also includes the phrase, and okay.
Mhm.
Kayla was a traitor. What a twist! His girlfriend was working for Stryker. What? Okay, I'll admit I didn't see it coming, but that was just because it was really stupid. And the reason why I think it was really stupid is, again, they like to set things up and then not deliver. Like, if you're gonna... Okay, thing is, it gets even worse after that, because, okay, Wolverine has this loving, committed relationship, then Victor shows up and kills his girlfriend, and Wolverine's like, damn it, and goes to avenge her.
God damn it, not another one.
Puts the adamantium in... I'm sorry, it's so true.
Ugh,
But...
just got through the last one.
Wolverine puts the adamantium in himself and goes to chase after Victor, gets to the island. Turns out Kayla wasn't dead, and she was working for Victor, or working for Stryker, and it's like, what a twist. But then,
Like, I didn't want to work. I didn't want to work for Victor or for Stryker. It's just my sister, who's not Emma Frost, even though she's never fucking called Emma. And she just. Sorry, I'll get onto that.
This is my note. It says, if you're gonna make Kayla a traitor, then at least don't go back and be all, no, they do love each other. Because that's just stupid. It's just stupid. If you're gonna make a character a traitor, don't then be like, no, plot twist, they weren't a traitor because they were doing it for a good cause.
I don't know.
Shut
I
up.
mean, they could do it if it's done well. I don't.
Yeah,
then
it was just really badly, stupidly done in like the
Yeah.
span. Because in the span of like 5 minutes, they were like, she was a traitor. She used hypnosis to make him love her or whatever. And then it was like, actually, she was a traitor, but she was doing it because they have her sister, who, what is it, Emma Frost? She's not Emma Frost or what?
I'll explain that when I get to my bad notes.
Okay, alright. Let's see. What other things do I say? So I said I kind of like the story, and I was kind of liking the story until it got to the island. This is so convoluted and so overcomplicated.
Yeah.
The fact that we couldn't do a proper recap of the plot in this episode is sign enough that these people wrote a really ridiculously overcomplicated, ridiculous plot. But enough about that, enough about the stupid plot. Let's get to, and this is my note, memories don't grow back bullshit. Because
oh my god, the fucking bullet.
The way they wipe.
God.
Okay, so Stryker establishes early in the movie, he's like, the only thing that can destroy Wolverine now that he has the adamantium in him is an adamantium bullet, which, by the way, makes no sense, but whatever.
It kind of makes sense.
Scientifically, it's kind of
vaguely.
Yeah, I guess, but
it sounds good on paper.
it does sound good on paper. The only thing that can kill him is an adamantium bullet because he's a metal werewolf. But
a metal werewolf.
he's a metal werewolf.
No,
But
he's not. But go on.
But then the way that they wipe Logan's memory at the end of the movie is Stryker says, he pulls out the adamantium bullet and he's like, this is the most powerful weapon that I can use against him, and this is the only thing that can destroy him. First of all, it was a great idea to only make 6 of those, and second of all, so he establishes early in the movie, he's like, this is the only thing that can destroy him, and then he's talking to his general friend, and he's like, wait a minute, this won't destroy him.
It'll just wipe his memory.
Here's what he said. He says, his general friend is like, you do realize shooting him with an adamantium bullet won't do anything, right? That was a plot point we established early in the movie that was complete stupidity and not true, because for some reason the screenwriters decided not to take that out. At some point they were like, let's leave it. But the point is, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go shoot him in the head. And the general's like, that won't do anything, right? His brain's just gonna grow back. And then Stryker's like, his brain will grow back but his memories won't. Which, okay.
Whoa!
First of all, that's
fucking
that's stupid. It's just stupid. Like
I don't think there's anything else we can really say other than that's literally the dumbest fucking way to do this particular part of his origin. Like
what? No, that's not. What? Okay, if you shoot him in the brain twice for some reason, his memories won't grow back. Okay, that's one. His memories won't go back, and two is. Okay, it sounds vaguely scientific, so okay, sure. Like, what did he know how to shoot the bullet in the exact right place to hit just the part that processes memories?
Like it would made like a little more sense if Agent Zero did it, because that's vaguely what his powers are.
Actually, yeah, if Agent Zero did it would have at least had an explanation.
But
Stryker, it's just stupid.
Mhm.
Okay, I think there's not even anything else we can say about it. It's just a really stupid way to wipe Wolverine's memories, and there was no point in doing it, you silly, silly filmmakers. Just wipe his memory in, like, any other good way.
Alright, so
alright, you go on to your stuff now.
Before I say my bad stuff, I'm turning down my air conditioning because I'm fucking cold. Be right back.
Alright, let's make sure it's not super loud. We'll be taking a short break now due to technical difficulties. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. Oh, it's over.
Hey, I'm back.
Right, so what's your negative feedback?
My negatives. Okay, the plot. Okay, this is a combination of two notes. Firstly, Wolverine is a fucking idiot. And second of all, the plot is really stupid.
Respect. Both of those things are actually so true.
Okay, so, Logan, did you really not think that Victor was in no way still involved with the government? Like, did it just slip your mind that he's this crazy sociopath that would love to be paid to kill people and instead decides to go on and kill people for free? Like, did that just not occur to you at all throughout this whole thing, that maybe they were somehow in contact with each other just a bit?
And also, another thing, Logan finds out from Stryker that someone's going around and killing all the old members of the task force. They're being brutally murdered by a mysterious person. Gee, I wonder, could it be my crazy homicidal brother who has giant fingernails which he uses to brutally kill people, and he's a complete sociopath? I wonder, could that be it? And he only figures it out when he smells his brother from, like, miles away, and then chases into the forest to find his not-dead girlfriend.
Yeah, Wolverine is a complete idiot throughout this entire fucking movie.
To be fair, he was, it's his early years, so you can't blame him.
Okay. First of all, yes,
you can. That's your job. That's your job.
Yeah. I, again, think that it's disgustingly stupid how they did the mind wipe, and I think the thing that pisses me off, honestly, the most is how much potential this movie could have been. Like, imagine if the first part of the movie was, like, it was after Vietnam, or it was after when they were in the jungle or whatever, and he tried to leave, and then the strike force, like, fought to keep him there, and then he, like, was mind wiped and given the adamantium, and he was just working as, like, a drone. But then, like, Silver Fox came in and was like, this is wrong what you're doing to him, and they escaped together or something like that. Imagine how much cooler it would be if it was actually about his time with the strike force and not just about him faffing about for a while.
Wow. Yeah, actually, that's a really amazing concept for a movie. When they reboot X-Men and have not as good Wolverine as Hugh Jackman, because no one will ever be as good, you should totally work on that.
Yeah.
Because that would be fun.
Any other notes? Yeah, I mentioned this earlier. They have characters who are interesting, and they kill them off within 3 minutes.
Yeah. The old people, wait, who else?
Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool.
Gambit.
Gambit didn't die.
Yeah, but he doesn't, like, what does he do?
He tells Logan his name.
He might as well have died.
He tells Logan his name, you silly.
He might as well have died because he does, like, nothing. after he takes him to the island, other than kind of come in and rescue him, basically, and then disappear. But he's
Also, he rescues him by, there's like a huge piece of metal that's about to fall on Logan, and then Gambit shows up and slices it in half. And one, that would do nothing because the piece of metal would still fall on him if the physics in this movie worked correctly. But enough about, science in an X-Men movie. Pfft. But besides that, also, what would a huge chunk of metal do to Wolverine anyway? He's indestructible.
well, I mean, I don't know. It would be a pretty big inconvenience.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, even if he came back to life under it.
Yeah, Gambit is the real hero here. He saved them half an hour of digging.
He saved them half an hour of digging, and he told Logan his name.
Yeah.
Logan shows up, and he's like, "Who the hell am I?" And Gambit's like, "Your name is Logan." And then, for some reason, Gambit's like about to leave, and then he's like, "Come on, let's go." And then Logan's like, "I'll find my own way." And he runs off in another direction. Why? This guy is showing you like a viable way off the island, and you just decide to like go off somewhere else. I understand that the continuity needs to happen because you can't have Gambit as his friend in the early years because that screws up the continuity of the X-Men films even more than they already would be, because they already are. But the point remains that it's weird that they did that. At least split them up in a way that doesn't require Logan to make a stupid choice. Anyway, sorry, go back to your stuff.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I wasn't the biggest fan of the guy who played Stryker in this film.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just holding him to the standard of Brian Cox.
Yeah.
But I just felt like he didn't bring anything really interesting or new to the table, and he looked literally nothing like Brian Cox.
I guess, yeah, it's a downside. Because Brian Cox was amazing as Stryker in X2, so it's always an honor, or what?
Yeah.
What?
Actually, not Brian Cox. Stryker is like one of the most prominent characters in the X-Men films because he's in X2 and he's in this one, and minor spoilers, he's in Days of Future Past.
Oh, goddammit, is he? Why did you tell me that?
I don't know. He's not like big or anything.
Oh, yeah,
He's
why
kinda-
not?
He's
And-
basically just a grunt.
And his dad's in First Class.
Yeah, his dad is in First Class, so he's like surprisingly prominent for a character who's only interesting one time.
I say, having seen it just now, just minor, not even a spoiler or anything. I just stick this in here. We're recording this shortly after I just recently watched First Class, which I saw for the very first time, and we'll get to that in 2 episodes or 3. Sorry, yeah.
3, yeah, but yeah. Notes. I think Mary was in this movie. He was interesting for 2 minutes.
Who?
The light bulb guy. He was Mary from Lord of the Rings.
The who guy?
The light bulb guy.
The lipo guy?
Light. Mutant power is to do liposuctions.
Who? I don't remember that character.
The light bulb.
Oh, the light bulb guy. I'm having even more trouble having... That guy! I love that guy!
Yeah, for the 2 minutes he appeared, he was fun, but
He
yeah.
was a fun character. Actually,
yeah.
he was one of the few people that I actually felt bad when he died in this movie, because I was like, hey, I like that guy.
Also, I just realized, why was Victor killing people? Was it to draw Wolverine out, or was it just because he was bored and decided that killing his old strike force was fun?
I think it's because Stryker needed a reason to get Wolverine to put the adamantium in him or something.
Okay.
I don't know, it was something stupid like that.
Yeah, alright. Well, I think that's about it. I can't remember. I'm probably going to remember like 3 notes after this ends and then say them at the end of another, but for now, I would say...
Yeah, recap. Yeah. What's your feelings in general?
My feelings, this is a really fucking stupid movie.
Agreed.
But it's also not like the worst thing ever.
This is
it's
true.
Like, it's not as bad as Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's not as bad as Man of Steel. It's not as bad as Batman and Robin.
You just listed 3 movies that I've never seen, so that's perfect.
Have you never? Okay, well, yeah.
I've never seen Man of Steel or Batman and Robin or The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I'm gonna see them for this show, but
yeah. But yeah, this movie is just kind of stupid and mindless. And if you want to just see Wolverine be Wolverine
and like say his catchphrases and have a really dumb version of his origin, go ahead. But if you want like an actually smart movie, skip it.
Yeah.
So in the end, I would give this movie a 5 out of 10.
I enjoyed it enough. I will go with 5 out of 10 too, because it's not god awful. It's just kind of dumb. But if you're just looking for a movie to shut off your brain for a while and watch Hugh Jackman, hit things with CGI claws that look like they were pulled out of a Disney sticker book, then go right ahead.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. Even if you are looking for like a stupid movie, just like go like a stupid action movie. There's like a bunch of like really good stupid action movies. Like most of the Iron Man movies are like smart action movies that still are entertaining for people who are just kind of wanting to just turn your brain off and watch something.
And if you're just watching to say that you saw all the X-Men movies, then go right ahead.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt your brain like other movies we've reviewed on this.
You reviewed?
Yes, on this show.
What other movies are those?
I mean, one movie singular specifically that involves lots of contrivances about an alien that wasn't an alien, and something that came out of the water, and something that completely was not prepared for.
Okay, so
it was fine because they actually did talk about it in the second movie, so whatever.
Okay, anyways, but yeah.
I hold no grudges.
Alright, so yeah, thanks for listening to the 4th episode.
This has been episode 5 of the Shazamcast.
Oh yeah, 5, because there was
Day of Reckoning.
The fanfiction.
Yes,
but yeah, join us next time as we review The Wolverine, continuing with the stupid naming.
Yeah, The Wolverine? Why not name this movie The Wolverine?
Because shut the fuck up, Leo.
Actually, why is that movie named The Wolverine if...
Leo! You know, we have things to do.
You're right, yeah. Alright, thank you for listening.
And watch along with us if you feel like you want to, go back and do that. And we're horrible at explaining plots, so maybe it'll help you out.
Yeah, because this video episode maybe no one will understand because no one's seen it, and the plot is just so dumb that it's impossible to explain in words.
But yeah, I think people saw it, I don't know.
Yeah,
anyways,
people did.
So yeah.
Some of them did. Oh, right. Thank you for listening, and have a good night.
Join us next time.
For The Wolverine.
Yeah, that's next time. Bye!
I know, that's what I'm saying. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Shazamcast. If you'd like to take a minute to leave us a review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It only takes a minute or two, and it really helps us get the word out there about this show of ours. If you're listening to this episode on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to hear all our latest comic-y material as soon as it comes out. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/ShazamCast, and on WordPress, shazamcast.wordpress.com. So make sure you take a look at those sometime. Thanks. We love you. Some of you. The cool ones.